Yes. UNA. Welcome, everybody. Yours truly, Diva Lyri, representing in the house for the UNA University, UNARepublic. Welcome. Yours truly, Diva Lyri. Yes. UNA. Yeah, all right. So we are getting into this thing today. Welcome. Long time no see. It's been a long time. Who is in the house? Day on demand. Go for Kesmet, Linda, Murph. Welcome, and welcome. All right, I'm trying to get to my TikTok people. So it's been a while. I was on vacation. I was in Chicago. Actually had a wonderful time in Chicago. I had the opportunity to do a session. They asked me to come and speak at a session, and it was actually at Dr. York's, one of Dr. York's libraries. It was a library, or a bookstore, I should say. And it was one of Dr. York's students. So I was really honored to be able to speak there. It was a wonderful trip to Chicago. I love Chicago. I always get a very warm welcome in Chicago. So glad to be here with you. Once again, I'm yours truly, Diva Lyri, representing for UNARepublic and UNA University. What are we talking about today? We're talking about the hard truth about the male and the female. Hello, Nefertiti. I am let me get in here. Can I get in? Is it gonna let me? Okay, that was not gonna do it. Okay, let me try this one. I'm getting some notices and I can't really see them. Let me see if I can do it for this way. Because I can't see you. I'm on by the way, we are streaming because I can't see you. I'm on by the way, we are streaming on YouTube at UNARepublic, and we are streaming on TikTok at because of this video that we had called Roaches in the WNBA. So you all know I don't speak a lot about secular things because we always keep it about law. All right. And so we only spoke about that particular situation because of the fact that it was a teachable moment. There's a lot of law situations that are applicable when we're talking about what's going on in the WNBA. So we did speak on that. We put out some sessions, and one of them the WNBA. So we did speak on that. We put out some sessions, and a couple of them actually went pretty viral because subscribers from that. I just want to say thank you. I love you. Thank you for your wonderful comments. Glad to have you. Now, I want to say this because with all of these subscribers, I know, we got a little freezing. Somebody said we got some freezing going on. Let's see. I want to give a shout out to Jolie Genesis. Thank you so much for being here. Sandra L says, "Hello, Diva. Got here first. Please help your sister's frequency. Give me the site again. If you only knew I didn't get that consultation." Okay, Sandra L. I'm not sure which site, but I'll leave the email up here so that you can reach out to us. Akasha says, "Hey, finally caught you. Welcome, Akasha." Sandra L., thank you so much for once again for the love. Go slow, I'm older. Okay. So now, am I still freezing? Let me. Okay. So now, I'm still freezing. And we're going to get started now. I want to make sure for those of y'all who know, who are looking for the trust membership package, you you can get that. Find the link. Eight eight track. Eight track. Joanna, bedroom. CJ, thank you for joining us. Posh, Lamont, thank you so much for in your allodial ID. Okay, with this allodial ID, this has your spiritual name on it, and on the back, you will be able to access your certified document. So, with your trust package, once again, you can find the link in the bio. Uh, or go to UNA University and you'll be able to sign up for the membership trust package. Those of you who know, you know this membership trust package is very powerful and a powerful tool in your sovereignty. So this is a great package to have. All right. Also, for those of y'all who have been looking for it, you can find the beginner law book. All right, this is the UNA beginner law book, and it basically has inside of it. Now, first of all, let me state these. You're going to have inside of it the universal laws, you've got the hierarchy of laws, you've got the vibratory frequency chart. All right, and we've got this is an extra chart for those of y'all who get the physical copy. The All right. Get the physical copy. The chart for those of y'all who get the physical copy, the civilization cycle, and the social totem pole cycle. These are very 200 and something of them. All right. These are known as God's laws. This book talks 200 and something of them. All right. These are known as God's laws. This book talks about the importance of these 200 and something of them. All right, these are known as God's laws. This book talks about the importance of these documents. And as I've told you in TikTok, is anybody in TikTok listening? Anybody in TikTok land listening? All right. Do I need to leave and come back? All right. Can you all hear me in TikTok? I'm gonna have to can y'all hear me? Anybody, can you hear me? Can you hear me on YouTube? On YouTube, can you hear me? Let's see. Can you hear me? YouTube, can you hear me? Let's see. You all aren't responding. If you don't respond, then I'm not going to speak. Thank you for joining. Thank you for liking. All right, I think I'm gonna leave and come back. In the bio that comes with your trust documents, your membership badge, your allodial ID. We're going to put them on record for you, and you get an education. Very, very important set of documents. And find us on UNA University for the beginner law book. Okay, let's get into this thing now. First of all, I need to, as I said, I'm giving a shout out to my new members. We got some new people in the house. Again, we had about 1,000 folks to join us after that Caitlin Clark session blew up. And I want to say I thank you and I welcome you. Now, real quick, I want to mention something on that topic, and then we're going to go into the hard truth about the male and the female. I want to mention something about the Caitlin Clark topic since I've got so many fans here. As I said before, and in the last session, I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark's. And one of the things before, and in the last session, things that has been happening, one of the things that has been happening is that she has been getting attacked. And in they the the fever have been eliminated from the players, but one of the players says in a press conference or the media post, she said players, but one of the players says in a press conference or the media post, she says, she says, we don't need those kind of, and she specifically stated Caitlin Clark's fans. Here is the issue. First of all, how did she even know that that was somebody who is a fan of Caitlin Clark? Did they say, hey, I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark and I hate you? How does she know that? Secondly, I'm offended because as someone who is a fan of Caitlin Clark's, what you have done is clump me in a group with people who would troll. These literally are trolls, and you're just making the assumption that these people are fans of Caitlin Clark's. Now, let me say this because there's been this whole word being thrown around with respect to Caitlin Clark. It has been racist. Somebody has tried to accuse Caitlin Clark's fans of being racist. Now, let me say this, and for my new people who are with UNA, once again, welcome. But I need you to understand something. First of all, don't call me black. Don't call me black. I'm not black. I want that to be made clear. Understand something. First of all, don't call me black. I'm not black. I want that to be made clear. I am a white person. I don't call Albion's white either, because both of those terms are legal terms. And again, if you're new here, I get it. This stuff is going to be new to you. But black and white are legal terms, which are statuses. And I'm not black, and I don't call Albion's white because I know what the facts are about those terms. But with that being said, if an Albion person were to say out of their mouth, because they were attacked by a melanated person, and if they were to come out of their mouth and say, oh, melanated people are violent and they're thieves, if they were to make that generalized statement, everybody would be up in arms. If an Albion person were to say that. But here this woman is complaining. And I'm not calling names because I don't speak about people who I don't think deserve power. So if I don't want to give you power, I'm not going to speak your name. But these people are making these complaints and complaining about racists. Nobody has gone through it worse than Caitlin Clark. Complaining about racists. Nobody has got, once has she complained. Nobody has gone through it worse than Caitlin Clark. Nobody. And not once has she complained about any of that. So nobody has gotten it worse than she has. And so this whole notion about her quote unquote racist fan, as though she doesn't get it, as though she hasn't gone through anything. When you have more eyeballs on you, then you're going to have trolls. And so for me, what I'm looking at is I'm even seeing it. Just by mentioning Caitlin Clark's names, I've gotten a lot of wonderful, wonderful people to subscribe to the channel and thank you. We welcome you. But then there have been some people who were not so stellar. And so I get it. I understand that the WNBA, there have been some people who were not so stellar. And so I get it. I understand. And so I get it. I understand that the WNBA is not ready for this, but they're acting. So it's unfortunate that that's happening. Now, I brought all of that up to say this. Caitlin Clark had a wonderful year, and I'm sure it was stressful as well. However, what I would like to see, and I wanted to bring this up because I'd like to see um, Clark do something under her own brand this quote unquote off season. Uh, uh, right now, as far as I'm concerned, uh, the whole season is over. All right, because it was this whole notion not appreciate the attitude and the tone of those who are over the league. There is a boycott, and I'm with that. Not telling you how to do it, but I'm telling you for me, I don't appreciate that tone, and I'm going to give them what they're asking for. No attention. But what I would like to see is I'd like to see Caitlin go on a tour in the United States, in some of the states in the United States and overseas. I'd like to see her take is Clark and Mitchell in the United States and overseas. I'd like to see her take Mitchell, uh, even Boston, and I'd like to see them do something under the CC brand, under the Caitlin Clark brand, whereby she just gets to have fun. And when we're talking about money, she's going to be able to pay them more money. About money, she's going to be able to. They're not going to have a problem getting funding for that tour. A problem getting funding for that tour. They're not going to have a problem selling out that tour. All right, it says I'm freezing. I don't know what it is. All right, let's see. Um, can you guys hear me on TikTok? Can you guys hear me on TikTok? Can you guys hear me on TikTok? You guys hear me on TikTok? All right. Can y'all hear me? Can anybody hear me? Can I be heard? Can you hear me? All right, we having technical difficulties. With UNA University and UNARepublic. Welcome back for the 10th time. We're going to try to get this thing rolling. Want to welcome all of my YouTube people. We are streaming. YouTube people, we are a university, UNARepublic, actually, UNARepublic. Yes, yes, yes. UNA. Yeah. All right. So, welcome back. Apologies for the disturbances, because somebody know I'm going to put out this good info. By the way, TikTok has removed one of my videos where I go into what is called the $1 million burst. What is called the million, and they actually removed that. Said it went against their, what do they call it, community policies, but they're not telling me why. Well, you know why. All right. So for those of y'all who really want the truth, I hope you're catching the the full sessions of these videos of the full sessions of these videos up there. So please go and check us out there of the full sessions of the air for my people on TikTok. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My people on YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome. Once again, I want to say welcome to my new viewers. I know we had a lot of new viewers from the fact that I delivered the truth and I said it with such honesty. Well, that's what we do here. We're gonna give you the facts and then let you go and deal with here. We're going to give you the information concerning it. Now, I just want to finish this up, what I was saying about what I'd like to see this off season with Caitlin Clark. I'd like to see her do a tour under her own brand, the CC brand, however she does it, whereby she's taking her teammates, her and other countries. And so this is going to be a lot of fun for her. Also, it would be a lot of fun for her other people who are with her, her teammates. This is going to give them the opportunity to gel. Her other people who are with her, her teammates. This is going to give them the opportunity. Are with her, her teammates. This is going to give them get paid. They're going to get paid. They're doing a tour with CC. They're going to get paid better with CC than they ever could with the WNBA. I'd like to see her do that. Putting together a tour like that, it would be something. Saying, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do. Do a tour. Do something fun." And like she's saying, "Oh, I don't know what I want to do. Do a tour. Do something fun." And like I said, either make it an exhibition with some. And like I said, either make it an exhibition with and build up your skills. A tour would be a lot of fun to see. I know she doesn't want to play with the other league that's going on now. Then do a fun tour with your other. There. And maybe a couple of other players, but take them and just have some fun. Do a little exhibition tour, and then just have some and then just have some fun. To finish up on that whole Caitlin Clark thing and welcome my new fans or members or subscribers to UNA. I love you. I'm glad to have new. I love you. I'm glad to have you. Now, I'm glad to have you. Now, one of the reasons why, some of the people were saying that they appreciated the commentary because honest. And so if this is your first time to the channel and what we do and what we speak on, please understand we're going to be speaking on some things that on. Please understand we're going to be speaking on some things that I'm going to speak. A lot of the things that I'm going to speak on have been hidden from us. All right. There were a lot of comments in the video about when I there were a lot of comments in the video about when I spoke. Understand that they're like, oh, it's a money. People don't listen. All right. The league has money. So if you go back and watch those videos in their entirety, you're going to understand where the money is and that they have always had money. Okay. And so the deal is, are you all hearing me okay? Are you guys hearing me okay? One second. I want to take this opportunity. Thank you, James. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you. This opportunity to welcome James. Thank you so much for responding. Eric, Coco, Taya, Big Deezy. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so let me just say this. As I was saying, from us in the society and that we've been lied to. As I told you, one of the videos that really goes into where the real money is, that was removed. That was where the real money is. That was removed. Removed from YouTube as far as I know of. But when I really go in on these things, again, somebody's watching. And when I go too deep, then some things get stricken. University for summer season. So I want to welcome you all in. Now, once again, to my newer viewers, and those of y'all who have not been in this room before, viewers, and we're going to go into some heavy topics. That's what we deal with. We deal with, being honest, because I have to be honest about all of this that's these things that are going on. Gatekeepers, James says. Sometimes I'm upsetting the men. Sometimes I'm upsetting the melanated people, but I'm going to give the facts, whether you like it or not. I have to give. He's nuts. All right. By Diva Lyri. Nuts. All right, by Diva Lyri. These are my all natural chocolate. That code. The D stands for Diva Lyri's nuts. All right. I did. All right. For these types of harsh sessions. I'm trying to see if I'm still linked up here because this session, this video audio has not been working well for me according to my tech peoples over here. All right, so let me carry on, and hopefully this is going through. I had a viewer from one of the videos uh, that was dealing with the DNA of the male and the females, the X and Y chromosome. And I had very wrong on this. The Most High made men the way we are, and He made women the way they are, and He made them to work in synergy with each way they are, and just like the universe. And wrong. And so I'm going to go into this, and again, I don't want to upset you, but I'm going to encourage you to do some research on the things I'm going to speak on. Okay. Okay. I'm getting. So what I'm going to try to do work, but yeah, thank you. Who was that? Norm. Thank you, Norm. I'm going to see if I can a different connection. Let's see. Disappointing. Disappointing. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the connection. This should actually be a good connection. I got a million. And I can't get a good one coming from TikTok. That's crazy. All right, let's see. All right, let's see. Let's see. This is messing up my whole session. All right, I don't know what the issue is, and then I don't know how to fix it. Know how to fix it. So this is gonna make me give up for tonight. I'm trying to put out a session for tonight. This is gonna make me give up. Who wants to deal with these issues? All right, I'm done. Let's see if we can get through this. All right. Let's see if I can figure this out. I got all kind of new gadgets. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna turn this off. Hold on. Okay. Okay, that's not it. Hold on. All right, that's better. Okay, I think we're ready to go now. He's saying it's fixed. Okay. Where do I start now? Okay, let me let me get back on this. Thank y'all for your patience, because you know when these things happen, it throws me off like crazy. All right, but let me get back into where we were. So this topic for tonight is the hard truth about the male and female. So I spoke about how we had a session where I went into the XX chromosome for the woman and the XY chromosome for the male. And I get a lot of pushback from men in particular because they get it in their mind that I'm talking about, oh, this is greater than this, or the woman is greater than this. And everybody is wanting to hear equality. It just, oh, we're equal. Well, that's just not the case. Equality doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist. And again, I say to you, I'm ready to upset some men. I'm ready to upset some women. I'm going to upset some melanated people, some albions. But listen, just go and do your research, because I get it. You know, we've been indoctrinated into religion, and we've been indoctrinated into certain things. And because we're so headstrong on, oh, God made it like this, well, somebody lied to us. And I'm just ready to go into the hard truth tonight about some things. Now, I've gone into religion and the fact that all religions are patriarchal. All of them were created by the male. I've gone into the fact that this planet was originally a matriarchal order, and a lot of things dealing that they're showing proof of that. Okay. This is why I also go into the molecular structure of the male and the female. And so when I do that, I get a pushback from my brothers. And again, as I say, when I do these topics, this is not my desire to upset or be disrespectful to my brother or any male for that matter, but I'm going to give you the facts, and then you can go and look them up for yourself. So when I did this session about what the chromosome, the XX chromosome in the woman and the XY chromosome are in the male, I had this person, he says, I agree with many things you say, but you are very wrong on this subject. The Most High made men the way we are and made women the way they are, and he made them to work in synergy. And the deal is, this is not what happened. That's not how it happened. And he's upset. And again, you hear him like this was a thread where he and I went back and forth for some time, but there was another woman who had a question, and he says, sister, don't believe nothing she say normally. And he says this, normally everything Diva says is right, but on this topic, she's wrong, because God made us this. Okay, that's his indoctrination, and that's his ego. He's saying, well, no one is better than the other. Well, it's not about better. So let me point this out, because I talked about this question I get. Well, if she is the superior being, then why is he so strong? I talked about that Y chromosome, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up here real quick. And the fact that he has full access to his Y chromosome. And having access to that Y chromosome gives him access to certain powers. This is the Y chromosome. This is the X chromosome. Well, this one of these X chromosomes in the woman is dormant. But when it turns back on, it has more power in it. These are her X-Men powers right here. And I've spoken about this before. The fact that when she starts to tap into this, she gains another strength. It's not about being better or worse. I'm just giving you what the facts are. This Y chromosome is derived from this X. What does a derivative of? It means that it comes from something. And one of the things I've told you all from the beginning, and you can find this in any book dealing with the X chromosome versus the Y chromosome, it's going to be clear on what it is. But everything comes from the feminine. Everything comes from the feminine. All beings. And so one of the things that I have to point out so that we are clear on what's going on with this whole thing is that, yeah, right now, when we're talking about a male, physically, he has the upper hand. Why? Because mentally, she is fast asleep. Physically, right now, he has the upper hand because mentally, she is fast asleep. But the moment she awakens and taps, and because chromosome, then that's going to disappear. There is no equality or equal. She is asleep. Equal with melanated people. I get melanated people all the time want to be upset with the Albion and call them all kinds of disrespectful names. But the truth is, the Albion came from the melanated people, period and point blank. They are your children. They are your children. And so if melanated people, you're finding yourself frustrated and fighting, the problem is that you're not in your right mind. It's the same thing with the woman. If she's finding herself wanting to fight, the problem is she's not in her right mind. There is no all of this equal stuff, or he has the upper hand. It doesn't work like that. When she awakens, then she's going to stand in her place. These are just the facts that I'm giving you. I'm not trying to degrade or downplay anybody. So I want to get into this because one of the issues is that when men hear this, when they hear that, oh, she might be the one with all of the power and she might be the one who is over me or above me, they hear domination. And women already tried to do that. And that's why we're in this place. So now I get into universal laws. Y'all know we talk about the universal laws. Once again, if you have the UNA beginner law book, you'll be able to find this. But we talk about the universal laws. Why? Because now we're understanding that when we understand universal law, we can see what happened in the past. A lot of people, you hear people say, oh, nobody will ever know. Well, the universe is constantly talking to us, constantly, every millisecond of the day, giving us information and telling us what happened. But if you don't understand the language of the universe, then you will never get it. It'll be you just walking out around here thinking that you are a victim. But one of the things that I speak about is when we're talking about the energy that women are getting on them, when we talk about the energy that melanated people are getting on them, or any other beings on this planet for that meaning, with respect to that, it is because of the energies that they've put out at another time, in another place. It might even be in this life. So now that takes me into reincarnation. Does that exist? Is that real? And some of you all are the biggest Bible thumping people on the planet. And when I talk about reincarnation, you act brand new when the Bible is constantly speaking about it and what it is. But science proves it. You prove it. That we are ethereal beings. We've been here since the existence of time and we'll be here. All right. And so I don't want to go into the whole Anunnaki thing and what happened with that. I've had a lot of questions about that as well. And I've answered a lot of them. But let me just say this. When we're talking about the Anunnaki, according to my research, those are the so-called gods, plural, of the Bible. See, what happened with this Bible is that one of these Anunnaki had an ego trip, and so he wanted to take responsibility and credit for everything that all of the other gods did. That's why you hear this whole thing, I am a jealous God. If it was only one God, what is he jealous of? I'm jealous of the other fake guys. They not fake. What happened was he took credit. This one particular guy took credit for all of the other things that the other gods did. Now somebody saying it's only one God. Well, what is the Elohim? Why were the names of those guys removed from the Bible? This is why I say we need to do our research and our homework. All right. So I needed to preface that so that we're understanding all of these things that are showing proof and backing the things that I'm telling you about. All right. I need to go into some hard truths. And I know that this is going to be information that's new to a lot of people. I know it's going to be very difficult for some people who with an ego, and particularly my males, to take. Those of y'all who are not studied, I want you to once again, don't knee jerk in here. I need you to listen, be willing to ask questions. Even if I don't want you to believe me, I just need you to listen so that you can get the information and do some research if you're really wanting to grow in your knowledge. Okay. So when we're talking about the Y chromosome, and I need to go into this because I spoke about who it is that determines the sex of the child. Is not the male that determines that. It is the woman. And so what happens is when we're talking about a Y chromosome, you're talking about a chromosome that by even science will tell you it is a genetically modified, unnatural, parasitic chromosome, meaning that it didn't just come about by nature. Somebody specifically tampered with the X to create the Y chromosome. And why am I bringing this up? Because one of the things is when we're talking about the male, we don't know what this being is. You have to understand the nature of a being that's carrying a Y chromosome. And if you don't know the nature of it, then you don't have respect for it. You're trying to do business with something and you don't understand what it is. It's just like when you're talking about light skin. Light skin is a genetically modified entity. Don't get mad at me, light-skinned people. I'm just giving you what the facts are. That's why they call it recessive. Somebody tampered with the genes in order to create it. These are the facts. Now, getting back to the Y chromosome, one of the things that I need to speak on concerning this chromosome is that it is an unstable chromosome, the Y chromosome. And when it comes to the beings that carry this Y chromosome, they tend to be unstable. Also, one of the things that I've spoken about before is that the Y chromosome constantly fights with the X. Now, going back to what a male is, he's made up of all X's in his cells except for that one Y sex chromosome. So he's got a set of 46 genes. All of them are X's except for that one Y chromosome. And that Y chromosome stays fighting within him. The Y chromosome within him stays fighting with the X. Stays fighting. So if he's fighting within himself, well, what you think he's going to do as a full being with Y chromosomes within him? He's fighting within himself. He's going to fight nature. He's fighting nature within him. Now, again, I'm just giving you what the facts are. Go look it up. Don't be mad at me. I just need to tell you what the being is that you're dealing with. And men, you need to understand who you're dealing with as a woman. Once again, she's fast asleep. But the moment she wakes up, that whole advantage that the Y chromosome gives you, well, that disappears. So we have this male who has a being that has a Y chromosome. Once again, it tends to be an unstable being. It tends to be a parasitic being. It tends to be a very aggressive being. We know all kind of GMO beings. So when we talk about GMO corn, for example, what is the nature of GMO beings? Well, what they're going to do is take over that which created it, the original. This is why you got those so-called African killer bees. They tend to find honeybees and they kill them. They don't have any kind of purpose in this dimension. They don't spread whatever bees spread with that. They don't do that. What those African killer bees do is they just find the natural honeybees and kill them. And then now you see this issue going on on the planet where all of the natural honeybees, they're dying because they're being killed off by who? Well, the genetically modified. See, that's what we didn't know. We didn't know that these African honeybees were genetically modified. Well, that's the same thing that corn does. Corn, you introduce corn into or GMO corn into a field next to a natural corn field, and the GMO corn is going to take over the natural corn field. And once that happens, there's no more natural corn. That's what GMO entities do. What does a parasitic entity do? A parasite is going to take over the host and make the host think that it can't live without the parasite. And again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or hurtful. I'm telling you what the being is that you're dealing with. And if you don't understand the nature of the being, then you should not be trying to conduct business with it because it's not going to be successful. All right. I want to go into the marijuana plant. My first business when I was in South America was I sold brownies. And everybody would be asking me, well, are these happy brownies? These crazy brownies? They call them local brownies. And I said, no, because they were asking if they had marijuana in them. So I figured, look, I'm not going to buy marijuana from here because I heard the marijuana where I was, it was, because I don't smoke it. I've never smoked marijuana. But I heard that, a lot of people would say they got sick from the marijuana. They didn't want to smoke it. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and let me, if I'm going to do it, I will grow some marijuana. I'll grow it myself. And then that way I know it's going to be good marijuana. So one of my friends, I had talked to him and he came back to me finally with some marijuana seeds. He was like, okay, Diva, look, I got these 10 seeds here. I got these marijuana seeds. This is what you're going to do. You're going to plant them in some soil. And then, okay, so 5 of them are likely to be female. And then 5 of them are likely to be male. So, and I was like, wait a minute. We're talking about male, female. He's like, yeah, it's male or female. But listen, 5 of them are likely to be male. This thing says, live restricted for some audiences. Your live contains themes that some may find uncomfortable and has been restricted. Reasons, regulated goods, contents. Did I say marijuana? Maybe that's what it was. Live visibility restricted. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because of your live does not comply with the For You feed eligibility standards under our community guidelines. Reasons, discussing drugs or substances. Okay, I can't say MJ, Mary J. All right. So, yeah, it's saying I can't say the Mary J. Anyway, so he says you got 10 seats here. 5 of them are likely to be female. 5 are likely to be male. And it hit me. I was like, I didn't know that marijuana it had female, male. And he said, listen, okay, so the deal is, he was telling me all of the THC or the good stuff, the stuff that makes you high is in the female. He's like, you can't even smoke the male. You can't smoke them. He said, because they give you a headache is what he says. I wasn't even talking about smoking them anyway, because I don't even smoke that like that. But it was giving me insight. Then he says to me, you have to kill the males. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. He said, you have to kill the males because if you don't, they're going to blow their stack all over everything and turn everything into a hermaphrodite. And immediately it reminded me of this society. It reminded me of this whole thing we call a human society. That if you don't kill the males, they're going to blow their stack all over everything and turn everything into a hermaphrodite. Now that leads me to, well, all these so-called transsexuals and, elevated homosexuality and all of this other stuff. Not that I have any issue with it, because one of the things that I know via universal law, everything happens for a reason. So don't none of this faze me at all for any reason. It is what it is, as they say. So I'm just telling you, however, that what's going on in that society reminds me of this society, whereby we have a situation where there are beings that are in abundance and they blown their stat, and now we got a whole bunch of hermaphrodites. Let's go into this. Again, not trying to be offensive to anybody, but we have to get an understanding of what's going on and who the beings are that we're trying to contract with in this dimension. So you all have you've heard people talk about a reset, because what happens is when let's talk about a reset concerning the marijuana plant. Now, getting back to that, once they have blown their stat, these males, then it destroys the entire population, removing the females, and hence none of the population is good at all. You got to just destroy the whole population. That's a reset. And so why am I bringing that up? Because in the marijuana population, there are humans that control this reset, whereby they remove the males from the population, or they just destroy the whole thing because they didn't maintain it properly. Okay. Now, here we are in a situation whereby we have an epidemic, and we haven't been honest or taken a look at it because, for whatever reason, people are afraid to face what the true issue is. I talked about where a male comes from, and I'm going to say it again. And once again, it is not my desire to be disrespectful or hurtful to anyone, especially males, brothers, whomever. It's not my desire, but I'm going to tell you what the facts are. When we're talking about a male is coming from a woman who is under duress. And that's why when I did my research on marijuana, and I wanted to understand, well, where does a male marijuana plant come from? Why does it happen? Well, when you look at the planting of marijuana and how these things come to be, what you'll find is that depending on the soil, that's going to determine whether or not that seed grows to be a male or a female. Well, what does that mean? Well, if it's got fungus or bacteria in the soil, if it's too wet or too dry, any of those conditions where there's disturbance in the soil, that seed is likely to become a male. However, the better the soil, the more likely those plants will be females. It's the same thing in humans. When a woman is balanced mentally, spiritually, emotionally, the only thing she's going to give birth to is a female. But when she's disturbed and distressed and under stress, well, you're going to know. You don't have to tell me, because I know the law. I understand how these things work. The same way they say you will know the tree by the fruit it bears. Well, I know when I'm looking in this society what the woman is going through. I know by what she gives birth to, what her mental state was at that time. So in understanding that, and again, this is the hard truth. And I know it's deep. I know it's, and and TikTok has already restricted me because I said the Mary J word. Okay. But one of the things that we have to be aware of is who we're doing business with. I say there's an epidemic and things that have not been talked about. When I did my research, what I came to find is that more than half of the population is walking around having had some kind of inappropriate sexual contact with an adult at a young age. More than half. And one of the things that I find is that more than 75% of those people who have had that kind of contact, it was somebody close to the family. It was somebody, either a grandfather, father, uncle, live-in boyfriend. It was somebody who was close to the family. So when we do statistics, when we do our research on this, again, I'm not making this up. Everything I'm telling you, you can go and research for yourself. But when we do the research, what we're finding is that when it comes to violence against women and children, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. When it comes to any kind of abuse or robbery, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. When it comes to sexual assault, more than 85% of the perpetrators are male. And this doesn't matter about color. This doesn't matter about what country you're in. It doesn't matter about any of that. We're just talking about we're across the board. They're males who are committing these crimes. When we're talking about robberies, 85%, more than 85%. When we're talking about murders, more than 85% are male. And so one of the things we're not being honest about is, well, what's the issue now? With all that being said, and I've said this before, people will say, well, the man is the problem. The man is the, no, because 100% of those males, they come from a woman. And then so the question has to be, what was going on in her mind when she created that being? I'm going to say this, and I've said this before. Once the woman comes into her right mind, then she is the one who controls the beings on this planet. You don't have to shoot nobody, kill nobody. You don't need a gun or a knife. You don't have to take nobody to court. You don't have to write up any documents. When she comes into her right mind, she controls the beings on this planet. Nothing comes into this dimension unless it comes through her stargate. The woman is responsible. And so for me, I'm not about dragging him down or saying disrespectful things, because I know who's got the power. I got the power. She's got the power. And when she comes into her right mind, he don't get to exist. He only exists because she said yes. And so for me, my whole point here is to reach women, my little sisters, especially you women out here who want to talk trash about men and say, oh, he and this and he and that. Wait a minute. You are talking about yourself. Every negative thing you say about him, he is your reflection. I've had too many women come to me and want to try to diss men and say negative things about men, and then turn around and they wearing some skimpy something with their butt hanging out on a picture. Who are you advertising to? Who are you advertising to? If you want to talk trash about these beings, and then you want to go and advertise it to them, that they are your reflection. As negative as you have things to say about them, they're only reflecting you. Thank you so much for the love, Miss Dominique. And thank you all for liking and sharing the live. Thank you, my people on TikTok. I'm going to take some questions in a second, because I know this is a very harsh topic. I'm not here to sugarcoat this for you. I'm not here to where we go on a dissing and bashing people, because I'm telling you where the power is. And this is not to diss my brother and say, oh, you not worthy. Well, why we here, Diva? Well, why? As I've said, when we go back and talk about the Anunnaki came here, and according to historical documentation, scientific documentation, biblical documentation, they created a set of beings. However, Yolanda, we didn't create them for protection. They weren't created for protection. And I'm ready to go into that. Once again, I'm going over the hard truths about the male and the female, the hard truths. But they created a being according to all of this documentation. But that documentation also shows that there was another being already here on the planet before they got here. I'm going to give you some biblical information. You remember when Cain killed Abel, and there was this whole thing about Cain saying to God, or really the gods, because there were at least 3 gods there, Enki, Enlil, and the sister. But he said, well, what about the others? You know, if you kick me out of here, what about the others? Well, what others? If there's Adam and Eve, and then there's you and your brother, what others? That's just one of the things that shows you there was other beings already on the planet. Also, when you read the book of the book of Enki. The book of Enki talks about how when Enki got to the planet, because Enki was one of those beings that like to do science. He liked to splice things together. He saw, hey, there's some other beings on the planet. I think I could create another being to do this work for us. Now, y'all need to go read the book of Enki, because you know what movie is very much in line with the book of Enki? Avatar. The movie Avatar is very much in line with what happened in the book of Enki, whereby these beings come to a planet and they see another being on the planet, and they splice that being with their DNA so that they can communicate with the other being on the planet. It's very much like Avatar. Go and read the book of Enki, and then go back and look at Avatar. Avatar is a documentary. All of the trees that have been cut down on this planet. There's a video called "There Are No Trees" or "There Are No Forests on Planet Earth." Find that video on YouTube, and it's going to give you a good understanding. Once again, Avatar is a documentary. Okay, so getting back to it, when we're talking about the male, the question is, were males created to protect? Let's pay attention. And I know a lot of people get ready to get upset with me, but males are not providers, protectors, nor rearers of children. They never have been, and that was never their intent. Their intent was to do the work and to spread seed. They were sex slaves. The same way the woman became a sex slave in marriage. Same thing, the same energy she ended up bearing is the same energy she put on him. If you read the Bible, there are stories in the Bible about how the males came to the castle and they serviced the women. They had to beat around the bush in the Bible when they say these things. But that's what their purpose was. When we're talking about Pharaoh, the term Pharaoh means the woman's house. Now they just saying, oh, it's the big house. No, it originally meant the woman's house. That was her house. He was servicing her. And because of the energy that she put out on him, well, she got to receive that energy. She's got to receive the same energy that she gave to him. And so now, when we're talking about a male, he has taken over like a genetically modified parasitic being would do. And this is not a diss. Again, I'm just telling you who you're dealing with. He took her over. He took her place. And I need this to be clear. Originally, when you go and do your research, it was spirit, woman, child. That's the order. Spirit, woman, child. He took the place of God. Man, woman, child. That's not even natural. Y'all gonna be upset with me. I'm just telling you what the facts are. Originally, it was spirit, woman, child. He took the place of God or spirit. He put himself in a place. He exalted himself to a place where he wasn't supposed to be. I'm just giving you the facts. So when we're talking about protection and whether or not he was there to protect, that wasn't his role. And if you look in nature, and again, I go back to nature because everybody wants to act like what we're doing in this society is natural when everything we're doing in society is 180 degrees opposite from what nature says. 180 degrees opposite. Everything man creates is opposite of nature. Everything. Thank you, Rod Life. He says, Spirit, my son. Spirit, my son. All right. So when we're talking about nature, when you look at nature, who is it that does all of the providing for the child, does the hunting in nature? And I know some of y'all, oh, well, we're not animals, Diva. Well, that's not what science says. You got these vessels, the Y chromosome, X chromosomes. So when we're looking at nature, who's the one that's making sure that they're providing for the child? That's the mother. She does all of the hunting. We're talking about lions, lionesses, and it doesn't matter, squirrels. It's the female that does the hunting and the providing for the child. Even when you talk about dogs, when we're talking about who's going to protect that child, if a lioness comes up upon a gazelle or a giraffe, who's the only one going to put their life on the line for the baby giraffe? Who is the only one? Is daddy going to be there? No, daddy is going to be at the front of the line trying to get the hell out of Dodge. Let's be 100 and understand in nature what really happens. Who puts their life on the line to make sure that child is in good order? That's the mother. Who is it that does the rearing? That's the mother. When we're talking about lions, for example, talk about lions, done a lot of research on them and watched them. She don't like to leave her babies with him. She'd rather leave it with the older females of the pride. Same with elephants. The females surround the child. The males be wherever the males be. But when it comes to the babies, they with the pride, they with the village. The village. And that's where we came from as women, as a people. When you're talking about Khalifa tribe and the Amazons, the village. And the problem is that as men took over, this whole thing called marriage came into play, where the woman went into slavery to the male. That's what marriage is. And I've talked about this before. I get it. Y'all, some of y'all women have glamorized, and I'm not trying to tell you, oh, don't be married or get married. At least one of the things that I've told you, if you're going to get married, don't let the state be in your marriage, because now they own your whole, your marriage and everything you own or you think you own. But when we're talking about marriage, that is when she went into slavery to him. When we're talking about even the marriage certificate, it is where he took ownership of her. And that's why you take his last name, because you become his property. We talked about what commerce is. And if you look up commerce, you're going to find sex or intercourse, because that marriage certificate gives him the right to do commerce with her across state lines. What is family? As a matter of fact, let's go to husband. Husband is a manager of farm animals. Well, what's his farm animal? Where his wife. Okay. And then when she gives birth to his family. And when you look up the etymology of family, you find slaves and servants. Again, I'm not making this up. I need you to go do your research. He took over the role where he wasn't supposed to be. She went into slavery to him. He wasn't supposed to protect her, because let's understand, when there's violence or danger coming, in most of the cases, the woman is bringing it. Oh, I'm getting on the spiritual side now. When you're talking about the Y chromosome, going back to the molecular side real quick, the Y chromosome, as I said, is a very unstable chromosome. When you're talking about a male, and again, I'm not trying to diss my brother, but these beings tend to be scarier. Let me tell you something. I know, brothers don't want to say this because the society has put this stigma on them. If they don't stand up, or they don't fight for, or they don't do this, then they're not a real man. Men don't care to fight except for two things. Really, ass. They fight about some ass. Let me make sure, because they might try to some ASS. All right. Either they trying to cover their own ass, or they're trying to get some ass. That's what they're gonna fight for. That's it. They're not trying to fight for your honor and all that. That's not what they do. But that's what society has put them up to do, because we think they're supposed to protect, and that's not really what they're supposed to do. Their whole thing was to do the heavy lifting and spread seed. Now you're trying to make them do something that they don't do in nature. They never did it find me a biblical story where a man put his life on the line for woman and child. You can't find it, because he didn't do it in biblical times. If you're talking about, past history, recent past history, if you will, if he was going to be so strong and protective, why he didn't protect women when the Albion was coming in here? Because it was really originally being run by Moors. Why? What was he? He didn't protect you then. And look now. Why is there this epidemic of women sending whoever it is that goes after men for money for child support? Why is that an epidemic where men are running from child support or having child support issues and getting a felony on their record? Why is that an epidemic? And I know, oh, she crazy. Yeah, she's not in her right mind. She's not. But if he was meant to do that, you don't have to beg him to do it. He's going to make sure it happens. So what I'm saying to you is that everything that this society has taught us about what a male is supposed to do is backwards. It's backwards. And the problem is that we don't, as women, we don't know who we're doing business with. We don't have a respect for his nature, a respect. If you're going to do business with somebody, know who they are and how they are. Because at the end of the day, women, you are the one who controls everything that comes in this dimension. Nothing gets out into here unless it comes through your Stargate. You don't even have a respect for your power. Let me see if I have any questions. Thank you. Thank you, Akasha. Akasha says, that's the mama. Love and light, Diva. I know some men who were molested by women also. Thank you, Melita. Thank you, Melita. Let's get into that. I know quite a few men who have been molested by women, and I need to make this clear because, see, men will brag about it. They'll brag about, oh yeah, I was 7 years old, or I was 10 years old, but inside they're hurting. That's another thing that, again, I say, there's an epidemic. And so when you see a male who's really angry with women, and he's really got this disdain for women, you're looking at somebody who was hurt at a young age. So all these things need to be brought out. They need to be talked about because women have done some dirt too. I want to go into this. Yeah, Melita says, hurt people hurt people. This is going to be hard. I'm trying to make sure I say this with love and respect. We talk about the universal laws, and I'm pulling this up again. One of the things about universal laws, the main principle is whatever energy you put out must come back. Whatever energy you put out must come back. You've heard of the term, what's done in the dark will come to the light. All right, you've heard of that term. And one of the things that we're not respecting is that this dimension is magical. It's very magical. And as I said when I first started this, the universe talks to us every millisecond of the day. And so when I see something happening to someone, or they're saying, oh, I got this energy on me, I know what energy they put out. They're going to come as though they are a victim. They're going to say to me, no, well, you know, this happened to me, and I never did anything. We have a lot of women who have molested men. And once again, energies that are put out must be returned. And so a lot of times when we're in society looking at someone who receives an energy, we don't understand that they're receiving an energy because of something they did in the dark. And this is going to be hard for some people to hear and for some people to take. But there are no victims. This is according to universal law. And I stand on it because I've seen it. There are no victims, even when we're talking about that woman who has been RAPED. I can't say it because I'm sure they're going to try to block it on this thing. All right. Even when we're talking about that woman that has been RAPED, something went on in the dark that we're not seeing. I'm going to tell you about this situation with this little boy. And some of you all might have seen this video on YouTube. It's on YouTube, and where this little boy was in a nursery, and he had to be like 5 or 6 years old. And he was in the, hold on for 1 second. All right, so this little boy was in the nursery, and he might have been 5 or 6 years old. And what ended up happening was he was caught on camera beating up the other children. So the other children might be 2 years old, 1 or 2 years old. And he put one of the kids in the headlock and beat it in the face. And then when the baby started crying, and whoever the adult was in the room came over there, he had like he didn't do anything. But the camera caught him. Now, for me, what happened was they reprimanded the little boy, and of course, the nursery got sued. But for me, what was clear and upsetting to me is that somebody did that to that little boy. Because people say, oh, you know, some children just demons, and some children, that's not how that works. Somebody did it to him. And so it was sad to me because it's like they're never going to catch the person who did it to him. I don't even want to go deeper into that, because if I go deeper, then y'all are really going to lose me. But just looking at it from that standpoint, with that little boy, the 6-year-old, it was like somebody was in his house doing the same thing to him that we caught him on camera doing, and they will never be caught. Or he saw it done, Jonathan says. Let me say something to you. He might have seen it done, but the way he was doing what he was doing, somebody did that to him. The way he was doing that is like he felt it. And I could tell that somebody did it to him. But yeah, you got a point. So my point on that, let me just finish up my point on that. My point on that is this. For me, the energy that he put out, it was clear that it had been done to him, or basically that he came from that environment. That this is not just something that was happenstance. So getting back to, how these men go through this, when you see a man who has a serious disdain for women, he's had something in his past where he's been hurt. And for those men who brag about, oh yeah, I was 10 years old, I was 11 years old. See, they're not telling you the truth about how hurt they were. And it's unfortunate that, again, we're not talking about this epidemic in society. This needs to be talked about, especially with women. So women, getting back to that, have come up, and again, I'm telling you, according to the statistics, it's more than 50%. Now, some statistics will tell you it's 1 out of 4 women and 1 out of 5 men, but that's not what my statistics are saying. When I do the numbers, for every 1 person or 1 child that has reported a sexual abuse, the statistics say that there's at least 7 that didn't report, at least 7 that did not report. So what I'm saying is that you have this situation where all of these people are walking around sexually abused. They can't say anything, but then they go into a relationship. They're not even mentally stable, but they want to bring a being into this planet, into this dimension through their Stargate, and they haven't dealt with their own issues and energies. Well, those issues and energies get transferred to that child. Because guess what? Guess what? That child was there with you when you went through what you went through as a child. So let's understand this now. I'm going to the molecular side, going back to the molecular side. In your ovaries, those are your children. They've been with you since you started at your 3rd month. They've been with you Your children been with you since you was inside your mother at the 3rd month, when you was being created in your 3rd month. Not when you was 3 months old after you was born, but as soon as the sperm hit the egg, your children were with you inside of your mother in the 3rd month. So they've been with you. They see you. You saw your mother. They saw grandmama. What I'm saying to you is that if you don't deal with your issues and you bring another being into this dimension, they saw you. They saw what happened to you. They might not be able to recall it mentally, but it's in the DNA. The energy is in the DNA. And if you don't deal with your energies, then it transfers to them. So let me give you an example, then I'm going to get to some questions. But let me give you an example. When I have someone who comes to me and they talk about how they were molested, I know that it's an energy. I know it's an energy. And I know that 9.999 times out of 10, what happened to the mother? The mother was molested. And I know 9.999 times out of 10, the grandmother was molested. It's an energy. And if it's not cleaned up, then it continues to the grandchild. What does that mean? So you are someone who's been molested and then you haven't dealt with those energies. You can wrap your arms around your child all you want to. You can try to protect them all you want to. If you don't clean up the energies, you're passing the energy to the child. This is what's not talked about. It should have been talked about by now. The woman is not in her right mind. And because of it, the society continues to suffer. But once she comes into her right mind, all of this stuff about equality and we want to be equal, there's no such thing. She needs to stand in her place and stop allowing things into this dimension that don't need to be here. Let me answer any questions. Akasha says, I still have compassion. We're supposed to have compassion, Akasha, for people or so-called victims. There are no victims. We're supposed to have compassion, though, because I'm here speaking on this because when we come out of victimhood, then we can start controlling the 3rd dimension. That's why I'm speaking on it. This is not me being here just to say, oh, you grow up. No, I'm telling you this because you're the one who's in control. Men and women, you're the one who's in control of your 3rd dimension. The minute you get control of self, everything in your 3rd dimension has to come into vibration with you. As a matter of fact, everything in your dimension is in vibration with you. It is. So if you're getting a lot of hell and turmoil in your dimension, it's because it's within you. When you clean up within you, then your dimension has to start to reflect that. It doesn't have a choice. So yes, I have compassion for those who feel that they have been victimized. The question is, do you want to be in control or do you want to stay a victim? You have a choice. It's no longer about, well, they picking on me and they doing this to me and all these negative things happens to me. And it's because of you. And the moment you're ready to change it, the moment you speak it, it has to be what you say. Sandra L. says, like your mother and grandmother are choosing you of wanting to be or wanting their man. Yes. that's some kind of, now, you know, again, everything has an energy. When I see this, or everything I see is just an energy. And if you're having that kind of relationship with your family members, yeah, it's telling me about you. Because when you change, and I know this because, again, I counsel a lot of my students, and we do have a counseling program. But the thing is, we see it all the time. When you change who you are, and you change, so a lot of times people will have an issue with their child, and they don't recognize that their issue with their child reflects what's going on with their mother, or they got an issue with the mother, and they're not understanding that it's because of their relationship with their child. Well, when we fix it on this side, then all of a sudden the relationship with the mother changes. All of a sudden. All right. Thank you, Maurice Divine. I appreciate the love. My outside world comes from my inside world is actually empowering. Yes. As is within, so is without. If we change what's going on within, you change your outside world. Okay. So getting back to this, the hard truth about the male and the female. Okay. We're understanding, women, who you are and what your role is. We've talked about this before, about how you know, when it comes to the original order on this planet, it was matriarchal. There was the village. And when it comes to the male has exalted himself to a place of God. And that's a problem. Everything that we're doing, we're talking about man, woman, child, that's not natural. That's not where we come from. It was God, woman, child. And how did man suddenly get into that place where God was originally? If you don't get back to God and get back to the village, then this mess doesn't get cleaned up. But once you do, all right, if I have any other questions before I get out of here, let me know. Once you get back to God, who is your God? And the problem, let me say this, because women have been mind blown into thinking that they have no value without the male. And it's not to say you don't need no man. I'm not saying that. I got a lot of men in my life, a lot. And they do a lot of wonderful things for me. As a matter of fact, my tech guy and my students and my friends, my business partners, men. But it's not a situation where I'm allowing that a toxic energy in my space. And women have been told or made to think that love is where you are. Love is die, or die and be with him forever. He's mine and ride or die. No, that's not love. That's infatuation. That's trying to control. Love has nothing to do with a contract. And so the other thing that I need to get into, let me say this, and then I need to go back to this X and Y chromosome. All right. Right now, the woman has two X's. One of them is dormant. These things are all crumpled up in one side of your cell. You can't access them. You can't tap into it because you keep using a crutch. I'm going to say something. I know y'all going to be upset with me. You can't tap in when you're partaking in certain things. You cannot tap in to this. This is a muscle. This is a muscle. You want to reach this? This is a muscle. You have to have discipline. Discipline. And some of you all, y'all, because, oh girl, he's so cute. And you doing things, you're not even respecting your vessel. You can't tap in because you don't have discipline. When you do your research on what happens, women, when semen get into your vessel, there's a fight. There is a fight, like space invaders. Your body is trying to kill those semen that are coming into your vessel like space invaders. And let me be clear on this. The body does not fight anything that is natural to it. These are the facts. The body does not fight anything that is natural to it, that we've been made to want to do. What are you doing? Let me go to this on a spiritual level. Now, this is deep. Again, I'm just going in on the hard truth about the male and the female. I'm gonna say this, and then if I have any questions, I want y'all to get ready to ask your questions so I can get ready to get up out of here. Now, when we're talking about this planet, what is this planet known as? People know this planet as a prison planet. They'll call it, oh, this is a prison planet. That we're here, and some people call it a school, but people call it a prison planet. And then how do people get into this prison? The only way they can get into this prison is through the woman. She's the Stargate. The only way they get in here is through the woman. So you mean to tell me that you have allowed another spiritual entity to be trapped in this planet, and they had to come through you? Okay, I'm gonna give y'all an example. I want y'all to take a trip with me. We're gonna take a trip. We're going down this long road, long straight road that we can see as far as the eye can see. And on each side of this road, there plantation, there's cotton fields. Cotton fields as far as the eye can see. And in those cotton fields are people picking the cotton, melanated and albion, both picking cotton. And we're driving down this road and we're seeing these plantations, this plantation and the people picking this cotton on both sides of the field. And as we drive, we are clear about what we're looking at. We're looking at a plantation where there are pickers on this side and pickers on this side. As we go down this road, we see pregnant women. On both sides of this road. What are we thinking in our minds about those pregnant women? Are we saying to ourselves, oh, that's a miracle, that baby's gonna be born? When that baby is born, we know it's gonna be a slave on a plantation. That's not much of a miracle to anybody who understands what this situation is what I'm saying. So understand that the scenario holds true for anybody in this dimension that's giving birth, and they don't know how to teach that child how to get out of it. You have enslaved a spiritual entity. I'm saying, are we being responsible women when we're allowing beings to come into this dimension? Are we being responsible? Some of us are sleeping with demons because we don't have enough value for ourselves to say no. All right, if I have any questions, I want y'all to ask the questions. I know this went deep. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I know it was deep. I need us to be clearer about what we're doing in this dimension. When you're spreading your legs, what are you doing? I need you to understand that there's certain things that we're doing, whether you drinking, especially alcohol, that's a spirit. That's a demonic possession, whether you like it or not. I'm not telling you to drink or don't drink. I'm telling you what it is. It is a demonic possession. When you are spreading your legs to somebody and you haven't taken time to know who they are, and yeah, I'm talking about at least 6 months. But even after that, a year, you still don't know who you're dealing with. But if you are rushing into something and you're sleeping with somebody, first of all, you're not being are you being responsible? Second of all, understand you can't tap in when you're doing that. You can't. What are you eating? How are you treating your body? That's why we lost access to that other X chromosome. We didn't have discipline. We didn't have respect. And we don't know who we are or who the people are that we're dealing with. All right. So do I have any questions before I get out of here? I tried to do a consultation with you. Akasha, let me get you to go to UNARepublic at amaxpro.com. Let's get together and let me see. Yeah, just send a message to UNARepublic at amaxpro.com and let's get together. Different, a little under the common sense clarity, please. One is not present unless they understand. Let's see. I got you, Akasha. Send me a message. Kurt, appearances, number 12, the presence of the body. There ought to be an end to lawsuits using in the name of another. Sandra L., I'm not sure what you are talking about. Let me see. Do I have any questions over here? Y'all are quiet in TikTok land. Jonathan, thank you so much for your comment. Chocolate, thank you. Growth Thoughts. Selma, thank you for joining. Blizzy, Zoe. Marie says, yes, you are amazing. Keep up the good work. Thank you all for the gifts. Idea, thank you. Let's see. If you haven't liked, I need you to like on YouTube. Henry, thank you for the comments and the love. What about the law book, Sandra? Did you get your law book? All right. Thank y'all for liking and sharing. All right. Y'all are so quiet in YouTube or TikTok. Why are you so quiet over there? Okay. Well, if you all don't have any comments or questions, I want to say thank you to my new subscribers. Thank you. I love you. I know this might have been a little bit heavy for you guys. But we get deep here. We get deep and then I get blocked like I get blocked. And once again, My people on YouTube, I need y'all to be aware, and TikTok, I need y'all to be aware that, you know, I'm putting out some very heavy information and it's getting blocked, especially when I talked about the $1 million birth certificate. So you all want to stay tuned and make sure you find us on YouTube so that you can get the full sessions and get knowledge about what we're talking about. Also, the university will be starting up on the 14th of October for our autumn season 2024. Stephanie says no time to sugarcoat anything. All right, Stephanie, I I put it out there like it is, and you know how sometimes people don't like it, but say so it is. We're gonna say it so that we make sure the truth gets out there. It cannot be hidden. All right, I want y'all to know I love you. You're asking a question out of the law book, okay? Joshua says, okay, Joshua, by the way, thank you for that, Joshua. I want y'all to know when we're in between seasons, we working behind the scenes. I want y'all to know that. So we've had quite a few people to enroll, and we've got to go through all of our consultations with our people who have come on. Also, we're still finishing up the summer season because we got finals going on for my summer season. So please know, we're gonna get to you. We're not gonna leave you out. We're working behind the scenes. Hold on, because Sandra says she's asking a question from the law book. All right. So when you say curt appearances, number 12, the presence of the body, there ought to be an end to lawsuits using the name of another. Hold on for a second. Let me see if I find this so I can answer Sandra's question. All right, number 12, anyone may renounce law introduced for their own benefit. Hold on, what? Everyone has the right to protect themselves, family, friends, loved ones, and others who are in danger. I'm not sure what your question is, and I'm not seeing your numbers, Sandra. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm not seeing the numbers that I'm seeing. Don't pull up like that. What you looking at, Sandra? What are you looking at? Let me see. Number 65. Let me see what number 65 says. I don't know what your question is, Sandra, either. One second. 65 says, when two things repugnant to each other are found in a will, the last is to be confirmed. So these are the maxims of laws that I'm reading. And I'm not sure if I'm reading from the right. One second. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're Sandra, what? Sandra, what? Tell me what the question. Okay. Well, what's the question, Sandra? Under the headings, what is the question? All right, I'm gonna get out of here. And Sandra, we're gonna have a private consultation. All right. But if you all have any questions, once again, for my people who want to get the law book, you can go to UNARepublic.com or find the link in the bio. And for my people who want to, and also there is a link tree. You can find the link for the link tree in the subscription, okay? Or in the description, you'll find the link for the link tree. And if you want to enroll in the UNA University, you can find the link in the subscription, and that's the link tree, and we'll get you enrolled this season. We go deep. We got some really fun classes coming up this season. As a matter of fact, let me make sure I get my classes. So for those of y'all who want to enroll, Mondays we meet by Zoom. So the UNA University is the UNA University is actually a mentoring program, all right, where we walk you through step by step on all of your processes. So there's a process we're helping you through, whether it be getting your trust for your business or your personal trust for your home, even mortgage elimination program, taxes, getting your tax for your vehicle, anything dealing with sovereignty. We're going to walk you through it step by step in the UNA University. So we encourage you to become a part of it. This season, we have some wonderful classes that we are inviting you to be a part of. All right, Power of Word Art. In this class, we're going to be dealing with these everyday words that we see, how to make sure we're using them so that we manifest our third dimension. We're going to have a lot of fun dealing with spoken word, poetry, music. All right, so we're going into that this season. Then we also have Trust Power. This is where we're actually dealing with financial instruments. So we're making sure that you're putting your trust on record, showing you how to get funding on the public side as well as on the private side. We're dealing with taxes, how to write financial instruments, where to send them, why you're sending them there, what to look for, all of these things dealing with funding the estate. So got a great session coming up this season. And once again, with our classes, we walk you through it. Other things that we offer in the UNA University, again, the tax prep program where we will file your taxes for you. We also, and by the way, when I say taxes, trust me, I'm not talking about where you paying anything, all right? You're going to get a lot back. Well, we got the tax program, mortgage elimination, the vehicle program that's coming up where we deal with making sure you have your car under trust, you have your tag, it's under federal jurisdiction. So, you know, there's a lot that goes to the class that we offer to our students, all right? So if you're interested, find the link tree and click on the link so we can get you enrolled in the university. I want y'all to know, I love you, I love you, I love you. And we're going to see you next time, hopefully next Friday. We're getting started on the 14th of October. I love y'all. We're going to see y'all next week. I'm out. Bye-bye. Peace.